I'm Tom Monk, I'm from Navisite. I'm the Director for Product Management for Cloud. Navisite is a professional services organisation, a managed service provider, and we're also a premier tier services partner. And I'm going to talk about the top 4 mistakes to avoid when migrating your ERP to the cloud. It's great to be here today. It's awesome to be presenting at reInvent. It's great for Navisite, so thank you for the opportunity. Before we get to those top 4 things to avoid, I'm going to start with this quote from Gartner. It really encapsulates what we see, and it's relevant to ERPs. 85% of organizations will be cloud first by 2025, and there's no business strategy without a cloud strategy. We're seeing so many organizations looking to achieve things for their business are only possible in the cloud, whether that's speed to market, platform reach, agility, scalability. So it just means that your cloud strategy has to be on point with your business strategy to really support what you're going to do as a business going forward. And ERPs are absolutely key and crucial to that. Our first step to avoid is not knowing your why. So many organizations, when moving to the cloud and thinking about what they're going to do with their ERP system, will be motivated by a single pain point, or start to have the conversation because of a single pain point. And there's two of those that we really see mostly. The first one is cost. So either looking to reduce the cost of your ERP on-prem, or evaluating costs as you're moving into some kind of event. So renewal of licensing, hardware refresh, something like that. The next one is a compelling event, something like a lease expiring with your current hosting platform, contract renewal with an MSP, dissatisfaction with an MSP, or M&A activity. But the challenge is, if you're focused on one challenge that you have with your ERP system, you're only going to be focused on one benefit. So what we try to encourage customers to do is to start to bring in broader goals from what they want to achieve from their ERP migration, to therefore bring broader set of benefits, which means you're going to have got a better chance of being successful, better chance of quantifying success. And we also recommend that when you're doing that, you look beyond IT. So take the time to analyze the benefits you can get from an ERP migration. Look beyond IT. Look to benefits beyond your technology. Look at business benefits you can deliver from an ERP migration. And then as you move forward in your migration, continually review those initial benefits that you've established that you want to achieve to make sure you remain on point, on focus for your migration. The next one is being overly ambitious, and we see, again, this in kind of 2 scenarios, really. So the first one is big, lofty goals around a migration, kind of keeping up with the Joneses. Everyone would have seen loads and loads of large-scale transformation projects this week and hear the messages about what you can achieve with moving to AWS, but it's often going to be the case that you could be getting into something that's bigger than you understand, taking on too much, biting off more than you can chew, those kind of things. The next one, which is quite common with ERPs, is the let's get it all done approach. Most organizations are used to updating their ERP on a yearly basis. They're in that practice of bundling change together. You can end up getting into that position where you're saying we might as well whilst we migrate. So we'll upgrade as well, we'll add a new feature, we'll add some new functionality. So it's important to always be practical about what you can achieve within your given time frame for migration. And also to remember that small changes can bring big benefits. So we recently worked with a customer of ours. They were a SaaS provider, actually, and they were moving an Oracle workload into AWS. And now they could have gone down the route of refactoring, modernizing, serverless, all those kind of things. But what they actually did was keep with that Oracle stack, move it into RDS, adopt infrastructure as code, which all sounds quite small things as benefits, small things to achieve. But actually that brought them huge benefits because it brought them with RDS a massive reduction in their operational overhead. It gave them a scale that they didn't previously have in on-premise. And through using infrastructure as code, they were able to deploy quicker, go to market quicker. So, big benefits from small changes. So we always recommend that organizations, to avoid being overly ambitious, focus on your objectives, look to your peers for guidance, and also try and manage your stakeholders. Next up is waiting too long to assess your workforce. So organizations may assume that they can leverage the same skill set with their ERP on-prem as they do in the cloud, but that's not always going to be the case. And if you leave it too long to look and address those potential workforce challenges, you could give you challenges in your migration project. So if the project's already underway and you haven't wrapped that into your business case, it could cause delays, increase your costs, and you're probably going to jeopardize your cutover if you're not thinking about what's going to happen after we cut over. And it could impact your broader adoption. So it's really crucial as you're making your steps into the cloud with your ERP to assess the current state of your workforce. And if you don't have the skill sets that you need in your organization, think about ways and options that you have for introducing those skills into your organization, whether it's working with partners, bringing new people into the organization, or upskilling your workforce. So we would always recommend that organizations, once they've been through that assessment phase, assess their training goals and set realistic expectations about what they can do with that incumbent team, and also work with an AWS partner or AWS themselves to support that upskilling and training and cloud enablement. And finally, it's not establishing your cloud operating model. So we all know that ERPs are business critical to any organization. They run so much of any organization, and so much of the focus of that initial cloud enablement is focused on getting the ERP system into AWS safely, without any outages, without any challenges presented to the business. And it's easy to get distracted by that and not think about what you're going to do after you've migrated, and not think about your operating model. So you need to take the time to properly assess the tools that you need to operate in the cloud, the skill sets you need. Make sure that you're establishing your TCO effectively. So once you've got all those skills and the operating procedures, tools, that kind of stuff, you'll have a good idea of what your operating costs are, how you run, all that kind of stuff. So we always recommend organizations establish a cloud center of excellence. That's an opportunity for you to bring delegates from around your organization, bring them all together. They can act as helping you define those best practices around architecture, operations, and all that kind of good stuff. And they can be your advocates internally for your cloud, and they'll help you with cloud enablement, bringing that into organizations better understanding the benefits of the cloud, why you're moving your ERP there in the first place. So there's opportunities there as well to leverage AWS to support you with cloud enablement, building out your cloud operating model, building out your tools, people's processes, that kind of stuff. And finally, consider bringing FinOps expertise or cloud management expertise into your organization. So that's a very quick whistle-stop tour of those 4 challenges. I'd just like to throw it open to Q&A now.